I feel like I've totally been fanboying and defending the Switch 2 a little bit on this channel, no doubt about it. But a couple situations came up, especially with third-party games that have definitely annoyed me, and I wanted to talk about them in this video. The first one that's come up is this game right here. I'll show it for a sec. Yooka-Re-Playlee. This game, I pre-ordered this game. Okay, it's announced that it's gonna be full on cards. So, we know about the game keycard situation and stuff, and normally this game I probably wouldn't have got right away, but you know what? I want to try voting with my wallet for a little bit, and I like 3D platformers. This is a mascot platformer. If you don't know, it's like a from the team of Banjo-Kazooie. I'm pretty sure, very similar type of game, and so something like this physical, I have extra benefit that I can get out of it by having on the shelf for the kids to play, a mascot 3D platformer that's right up their alley. So I have benefit of having this physical, and it's got the whole game on cart. And so, wanting to support the cause, that was something I was like, all right, you know what? I'll do it. It's $50. I think digital is going to be $30, 20 or $30. I want to say $30. So don't hold that against me. But so there's a premium for it. We all know, you've seen people, you heard the noise, you hear people say, "Oh, I would pay extra. I'd pay extra for the whole game to be on cart." Until they actually do it, then they start complaining. I've seen some complaints about Hades 2, very similar situation. But the game is on cart. You have to pay a premium for that. That's understood. $50. It's not the biggest in the world. And it's a 3D platformer. I think I would like it, but that said, big disclaimer, I do think I played on Game Pass, the original version. I downloaded it one time. Like, I downloaded a whole bunch of games on Game Pass. I was trying them out, and I think I played it for like 5 or 10 minutes, and it didn't hook me. So my first impressions were I didn't really like it, but I do think I wasn't in the proper headspace for it. So, like, going into it as a 3D platformer with the right mindset, I do think I would actually like this game. But still, that doesn't change. I do have a previous history, first impressions of just not super liking it. It didn't hook me right away. If it was a 9 or 10 out of 10, that should have hooked me right away. But what annoys me about this one is, so I had it pre-ordered, right? Then they announced that this game is going to be 30 frames per second. And I hate that I hate that I know about frame rates and how bad it affects, but it does. It truly does, especially with the 3D platformer. And we know the Switch 2 is more capable of this. I've talked about this, like, it is more capable. It should be able to run this at 60 frames per second, but when it comes to a 3D platformer, you're really going to feel it. It's going to make this game run like garbage. And they said that they might do a patch for 60 frames per second. And that doesn't sound good to me. Like, what does that mean? If it doesn't sell well enough, are they not going to do it? Or if it does sell well enough, they're going to do it? Like, which is it that's worth their time to make the 60 frames per second patch? And so, even if they make the 60 frames per second patch, that means this game is a key card. It's secretly a key card. I'm not like the biggest fan of like the whole movement of, oh, buy the Switch 1 game and then buy the Switch 1 game so it's on cart, but then play the Switch 2 version of the patch. Like, what's the difference between that and the game key card? It's the 60 frames per second version that's playable. It's the 60 frames per second version that should be preserved. And so why would I pay a premium when I can get it $30 digital? Why would I pay that premium for $50 for the whole point of having the game on the cart when it's the 30 frames per second version? It makes no sense. I haven't canceled a pre-order faster than that. I actually don't even know the last time I've ever canceled a pre-order. This was the first time I canceled. I'm like, well, I don't even know how much I like the game. I was kind of buying this out of principle, and they lost it. I wonder how many people cancel the pre-orders on this one. I would love to see just the chart of it dropping after they announce that this is 30 frames per second. Out of all games to be a key card, why is this game not a key card? I think Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, I've seen that for like the Switch 2 version. I think I read about like it's gonna be like 20 frames per second. Like, that's terrible. Like, I would probably double dip on that game for the Switch 2. Not full price, but like maybe for $20. And it's like, now at this point, it's like I don't even know if I'll double dip at $20 unless it's a confirmed that they have a frame rate patch out for that one. But at that point, it's a key card. So it's like I'll buy that dirt cheap for 10 or $20, 10, 15, $20. This Yooka-Re-Playlee, like, yeah, this has to go down to $20 to consider physical. It needs to have the 60 frames per second patch, or I might pick it up for like $6 digital. But I was gonna give them $50 for day one pre-order to support the cause. But and yeah, I guess it's just lazy. Same with the Dragon Ball with 20 frames per second. It's lazy ports. Like on one hand, it's lazy ports, but I do think that like it doesn't have to do with the Switch 2's performance. They're lazy ports, but really it's like management bum rushing. Like we need to hit the launch window because we're gonna get more sales if we're at the launch window of the Switch 2. I'm pretty sure that there was a dev kit shortage issue. And so they probably have a very little time with the dev kits and they want to get this game out. I'm pretty sure this can come out in January. And so like it's lazy, bad management. Like the Switch 2 is definitely capable of running this game in particular at 60 frames per second. It's not, and just like out of all games to not be a key card, why is this one not a key card? Why preserve just trash, you know? Um Another situation that has annoyed me, with just like the Switch 2 and third party games is Pac-Man World 2 Re-Pac. Great, $30. Bought this game so fast, $30. Yeah, it's a game key card, but it's a great game. Again, mascot platformer, great thing to have in my collection to have on the shelf when the kids grow up. They can browse the shelf like a blockbuster and be like, oh, this is a cool game. Definitely going to be age appropriate. So $30, I'll add that to my collection, no problem. I love the Switch too. But you know what? I just drives me crazy about this is the spine art is red. Just it's the Switch One spine art, and that drives me crazy. It's so lazy. I mean, look at the GameCube version of Pac-Man World 2. Look at that, just blue and colorful spine right there. And now we just have this lifeless corporate version. I've said this on the channel before. I cannot stand the Switch One wall of red spines. You know, I think it looks absolutely terrible. Imagine my movie shelf over there if it was just all red, just this giant rectangle of red just on my wall. I think that's just horrible decoration. That's not how I want just my house to look. And it's a huge turnoff for me. And then I get this game and it's like, wow, it has a Switch 1 spine. So like Bandai Namco here was just so lazy with Pac-Man World Re-Pac that they didn't even do, they did the bare minimum with the cover art. And I think the cover looks great. I think this cover art looks really good. Beautiful. I love the colors. All they had to do is keep wrapping it around the spine, and they like cutting every single, and this feels like they're just nickel and diming the cost at this point. Like I don't see why they couldn't wrap the art around the spine like many other Switch 2 games. I don't know. This one's a silly thing to be disappointed about, but I am disappointed in it nonetheless. It's just like, come on. I was looking so forward to adding this one just to the shelf, even though it's a game key card. Yeah, I don't know. Probably a better one to pay the premium $50, and then the Yooka-Re-Playlee should have been the $30 game key card. It very backwards, very weird situations, but you know what? I wanted to talk about them because they're a bit annoying, and I think like in terms of like the Yooka-Re-Playlee, you know, that I think that's definitely a launch window issue. It should have been a game key card. They're rushing it. That the Switch 2 is definitely capable of performing and playing that game. This one I'm at a loss for words for the spine, but it's also probably just a personal thing. But I still think it sucks. What do you guys think in the comments? Any other just weird third-party game situations with the Switch 2 that have annoyed you? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.